That is a game changer. That is what we are going to use to turn around the economy, number one, and create excessive jobs, number two. But that's what people want. Not jobs that you go and do 1 year and go and stay home. No. Like NAPCO, that was no job. We are talking about a sustainable job, a reliable job that you can do to retirement. You can either retire voluntarily, prematurely, or compulsorily. Whichever one. This is what we are talking about, not what those scam policies that they brought up. So Ghanaians should just be in waiting for the positive thing that is going to solve their problems. It's not funny for you to hear the Vice President telling Ghanaians that it's going to make driving licenses 10 years instead of 2 years. What problem does that solve?
Is that not what Ghanaians want? I mean, so it takes away the fact that every other year you would have to renew your licenses. Yes, I drive.
Do you need a problem for a license to be more than 2 years? No, I drive. No driver has complained that our license should be more than 2 years. Nobody is complaining. Give us solutions to the things that we are complaining about today. No what we don't need. No driver. You go around with your microphones, your cameras. Ask Ghanaians. Check from them. Which of them are complaining or they are saying that they want our license to be more than 2 years? No driver. No driver. But sadly, this is the solution your Vice President is giving you. Meanwhile, this is no solution. It's because it addresses no problem. You understand? So Ghanaians want solutions to problems that are facing us. Number one is unemployment, which I've mentioned. Number two is economic challenge, economic difficulties. My brother, one key step that can address our currency depreciation is moving the country from an import-driven economy to an export-driven economy. When you do that, your currency becomes strong. When you do that, your currency becomes good and you are able to compete with the others. Ghana is importing even water. What is wrong with us? Water. How can we import water into this country, Ghana? No. So the 24-hour economy is going to bring out a platform for private companies who are producing water, producing several other things that are highly in demand. Highly in demand. For Ghanaians to get jobs to do, do it in large quantities so that we can export most of the things that we are having. Do you know that something like stones, those stones that we use in doing our roads, these ones, you know there are countries that import them into their country. But here, as we speak to you, there are countries that our wealth of stone alone in this country is over $1 trillion. Over $1 trillion. Which means that if we are able to even produce this more, those countries that need them and wherever we are exporting them to, we can export to them as well and make more money into this country to change our economy or turn things around. And as we are doing that, we are creating jobs and then we're strengthening your currency as well.
Hold on for me. Let me get back to Honorable Maonyo. So the issue about job creation is so essential to the growth of this economy as well. The current administration tells us that they have created about 2.3 million jobs. Others say 2.1 million jobs. Give and take. There is still a deficit because the data tells us that about 14% of the population are unemployed. What should the manifesto of the NDC touch on mainly when it comes to the creation of jobs?
It is obvious our opponents are just showing figures out there. Last I understand one of the youth says 21 million jobs. Now at the point it's 2.3 million. And at that point 2.1 million. It tells you that it doesn't exist. And you know across the country the youth are crying for jobs. Today the key issue Ghanaians are also waiting for the 24-hour economy. You know, you and I, that on daily basis we hear what is happening in the developed nations. The developed nations are already executing the 24-hour economy. It's working for them. What about Ghana? This is what the president wants to introduce. Youths are waiting. They want to go to job in the morning, be in the night and work, and then in the morning once more to work. That is all that they want. If the job is available, Ghanaians are happy. Now, there's one thing I want you to understand. You see, from the decentralized point of view, there are a lot of challenges. If we can begin to take back what is stipulated in the local government at 936, i.e., for example, the property rate collections back to every assembly, because you know at the point in time some group of people hijack property rate collection, which is not by law, which is not stipulated in the act, and we fought hard. Now that it's back, still we realize that there are some group of people who are still taking money and it's going to a certain account. What we are going to ask is that This is reflected in the manifesto that the assembly should take absolute control of property rate collection. That must be done, and then all the collections that have been done, there must be prosecution, because up to now we don't know those who are behind those collections. The assembly have been denying IGF for some time now. Now watch, the kind of money that comes into those pockets, imagine the number of jobs that you create. So the youth must begin to listen that the decentralization that has been in the system for some time now is as it needs, simply because the government of the day denied the decentralization policies to be rolled out the way it's supposed to be rolled out. That is what is even denying jobs at every corner in this country. So we are saying that these two things must be looked at from the decentralization point of view, and then the 24-hour economy must be grabbed by the decentralization policy from assembly members. That is what I think.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on set as well. Council, let me also pick your final thoughts quickly before we engage some other people.
All right, so we are telling Ghanaians a very simple thing. Our women should be in excitement because one of their basic needs, which is a means of getting funds to do their trading, to do their business, is coming up through the women's banking. It's a means to create employment for them as well, and to strengthen those who are doing business. You're able to gain resources, financial resources to support their business and move on. Again, the youth should be in excitement. Looking at what we are putting up, 1 million youth into coding. Those who are going to tech startup, there's a resource available that they are going to tap into. GM has mentioned, for instance, those who are into surplus trading. It's not amazing to hear that there's going to be a flat rate, and aside the flat rate, there's a backup. What is a backup? He has promised to give you set up a financial scheme whereby even if your goods comes in and you are not financially strong, you can go there, get some money, clear your goods, pay back within 2 or 3 months after you have sold your goods. So we have solution-oriented policies that are coming up, which are going to be read into details today. So Ghanaians should be in excitement and move towards the wind that is blowing. The wind of change is blowing, and the change has set up from here. As we are coming, you could see on the way. People are ready for change. We are entreating every other person in this country that on the day of election, never sleep. Don't sit somewhere and say, "Oh, me, I'm not going to vote." Vote. But vote for the change that we all need. And let's sack this incompetent, corrupt, and nepotistic government to go home.
Council, thank you so much. Enjoy the manifesto launch as well. But I see one gentleman here, Don and the colors, with an inscription, "I am a doctor and I'll vote for John Mahama 2024. He is a professional medical doctor, I should believe. Dr. Robert Doe is joining us on set as well. Doc, thank you so much for joining us on Wezo TV. You are from the medical industry. What does today mean to you, and what are your expectations?
Today is a very great day for me personally and for every professional in the NDC. Today is a day that we are calling on every professional to come out boldly and defend the NDC. Once you are an NDC member, do not shy away from the party. Come out boldly. The policies that JM is bringing for the health sector, so amazing. One of them is the training of our nurses, the training of our doctors. JM is saying that when he comes, he is no longer going to put the quota system in operation. That the nursing training will be open to everybody. So you come in, and then you also have the chance to access the students' loan. And then all the projects in the health sector that this administration is embarking on, JM says he's going to complete all of them, because the hospitals that they are putting up, they cannot finish this Agenda 111 before they leave office. JM says that that assurance, when he comes, he's going to complete those projects, and then he's going to invest heavily in the training and upgrading of the skills of doctors and all other grades of medical practitioners, allied health sciences, laboratory sciences, and that is super. And as a medical person, there is no other government that has shown promise and commitment in lifting the standard of healthcare in Ghana apart from the NDC. See what JM did with the Rich Hospital. See what former President Professor Mills and JM did at the University of Ghana Medical Center. For these reasons, we are saying that when JM comes, he has shown he has shown that he has done it before and he can do it. So, my fellow professionals, you may be an engineer, you may be an accountant, you may be a teacher, You may be a lawyer, wherever you are. Once you believe in this probity, accountability and justice, come on board with the NDC. And the policies, I'll speak directly to the youth now. This is the time for the youth. My fellow youth, the future of Ghana is in our hands. The second independence is in our hands. This is the time we must change the destiny of this nation. If Ghana does not come to the NDC, if NDC doesn't take the leadership, Ghana will be in a great mess. We must hold people accountable for the stewardship that has been granted them. Look at the All African Games. My youth, they have spent the money in your name. They have spent the money on your behalf, but those monies did not come to the games. They said they have paid GBC certain amount. These monies were not given to GBC. My youth, bring JM to hold these people accountable. He says when he comes, he's going to boost the ICT training of you. He's going to invest a lot of money and put people into the coding system. The future is ICT. Let us bring JM. My fellow youth, the change is now.
Thank you.
Part of this change. And when the history is being read that the second independence is won for Ghana again, you will be counted as a worthy contributor to this change. Vote for JM, vote for change, and vote for your future.
Very well, Doc. Thank you so much for joining us on set. But let's get more closer to the younger ones, the youth, because they have the future in their hands as well. I see you with the inscription, think like Nkrumah, fight like Rawlings. Why? What's the meaning?
Well, I think we've gotten to the point that we need leaders in this country, and if we have the leaders, they need to start fighting like those who paved way for the independence and the democracy we have today.
What does today mean to you as a young man?
Well, it's just a normal day for me. I'm just hoping to hear or be promised something new. I mean, as a young person that goes around, I'm a young activist. I go out advocating. I listen to the plight of the young people, and majority of the young people are not just complaining of, there's joblessness, there is insecurity, high rise of insecurity in this country, there are lawlessness in this country, and Machiavelli, we all know, doesn't really care. Okay, the life of Ghanaians are not being protected. We've had condolence sometimes. Even here in Winneba, we had this woman that was thrown outside from a hospital, and not even a minister of state, the vice president, or the president himself spoke a single word about it. This speaks that the leadership doesn't really care about the people of this country, of which they take an oath to come and protect. So I am here to get the hope back again as a young person, as a Ghanaian, that I feel like leaving home. Because when you speak about Ghana to people diaspora, they will tell you that, I don't risk coming back to Ghana. I don't like coming back to Ghana. And the reasons are that Ghanaians' lives are not being cared for. Ghanaian lives are not being protected by the people we give power to for them to protect the Ghanaians. So I am here to actually hear something different, something that will give hope to the youth of this country, something that will inspire the youth to calm down, because there are a lot of tensions rising in this country. There are a lot of tensions rising. Myself, I don't know if you've not seen, but Fix the Country and most activist group has risen up in this country, making sure that we hold government to account. And this constitution we are using today, majority of the clauses in the constitution needs to be scrapped out. Even if the constitution is not going to be taken out entirely for it to be renewed, the constitutional review committee that was set up by Atta Mills needs to be accepted by now. We are hoping that this government, if Ghanaians should vote for NDC and Mahama back to office, they will touch the constitution to bring hope back to the young people of this country. Or else, I always say, when change is too long denied, it's not that the people plan for violence, but the angers within them will start erupting. And it will definitely happen, because we are going to rise up and make sure that the hope of this country would not be taken for granted. The future, which is the youth that will be coming after us, will have hope and not blame us for we keeping quiet and watching things destroyed to the point we have gotten to. The impunity is getting too much. The tyranny is getting too much. The lack of law for Ghana, the lawlessness is getting too much, and we need leaders to solve this problem. And if you are going to be a leader, we need fighters to run and fight and make sure we save this country. This country is broken and we need a change.
Do you see the NDC giving you that hope as a young man?
It's not about NDC, it's not about MPP, it's about leadership. If the NDC is going to give us leader, we need him. If the MPP is going to give us leaders, we need him. If any other person is going to come up and lead this country and give us the leadership we deserve as a people, that is what we stand for. So NDC is within Ghana, MPP is within Ghana, but I give Ghanaians the opportunity to think about the policies, to think about the kind of governance with experience to make the decision. Because we should remember that whatever decision we are making out of this 2024 elections is going to have a consequence, and those consequences will not only affect us living today, will affect the next generation coming. So we should vote wisely and think of choosing leaders and not politicians.
I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Enjoy the program as well. So if you are just tuning in, you are live on Wezo TV. This is the election center. We are currently located on the premises of the University of Education Winneba campus, just right in front of the Chofos Anamwa Mensa auditorium. Let's get up close to one of the parliamentary candidates who is contesting the Okaikwe South constituency seat, Honorable Ernest Adumeko, and of course he is here with us as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable. And what are your expectations? I've spoken to ordinary Ghanaians. They have spoken about jobs. They have spoken about hope that they are anticipating that this manifesto will give. You are representing, you are trying to represent a chunk number of the people as well. What have they told you? What are their expectations?
As you just mentioned, we are expecting hope that we are all expecting to see. We are all going to see everything. We are going to get detailed information from the manifesto. We have mentioned some few things. Recently we launched Youth Manifesto, which we mentioned some things like Women's Bank, which is going to support our women in the market and those who do small trading. Because when they go to these commercial banks for loan, they tell them they don't have collateral, so in the national they don't qualify to have access to loans. So His Excellency, the incoming president, mentioned that he is bringing this bank to support our women at the bank. Actually, we brought Agri Development Bank to support farmers. We are bringing this one to come and support our women, and also mention about youth artisan certification, which we are going to train people in the skill training, give them skill training, and also give them certification, also to support so that we can create employment for them as well. Because looking at the economy, we just mentioned about 24-hour economy, which is going to build the economy, because now everything has messed up entirely. The 24-hour economy is going to affect our inflation positively. How is it going to affect the inflation positively? We are saying that we are going to reduce the taxes for them, and then also the energy consumption, electricity that they will use in the night, we are going to reduce it for them so that they can have access to a whole lot of things, like to reduce their production cost. Once the production cost reduces, it affects the inflation, because it's going to affect the buying price or their selling price. Once the selling price reduces, automatically people also enjoy it. And then those who are also not getting jobs, one same company, assuming they have 200 workers, it means that if they want to run 3 shifts, they are going to employ 600 workers. So 24-hour economy is a game changer. It's going to support our economy.
I'm grateful. But again, with the issues about some tax reforms, for instance, there has been calls for the scrapping of e-levy, there has been calls for the scrapping of betting tax, the sanitation tax, and what have you. Do you expect to see that being captured in the manifesto of your party as well?
You know, as for JM and NDC, once we promise, we make sure we deliver. Why do we still pay COVID levy while there is no more COVID? And as Baumia said, we don't have to charge, or we don't have to tax mobile money. Now he's taxing mobile money. Now we are saying that we are going to take off e-levy so that it can help for people to do businesses electronically. Because I don't see why I just bought an item which I've already paid taxes on it. When I'm going to pay, they also charge me another tax. It doesn't even make sense. That's why we are saying that we are going to abolish the e-levy, and then also the gaming tax. the youth are not getting jobs. Now they are channel all their energy on gaming. Now the government is taking 10% out of whatever they win. What if they lose? When they lose, you don't give them 10% of whatever they lost. So we are going to abolish it for the youths. Yes.
I'm grateful, Honorable. Thank you. But let's pick the last bite quickly from the women. Let's also find out from the women what they think of the manifesto. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us. But let's find out, because there has been just mere words that there is going to be an establishment of the Women Development Bank. What does it mean? Are they expecting this to be captured in the manifesto as well? JMC Obeye Women Development Bank. What does it mean to you?
Oh, me say bank na wode ba no je bebre because mba no ye ne ye hia bose a ye ko bank a what ye nkofa asase anase fie embra ye sua yi bi na wai manager kro ba ya ba mba kuti no be ya djuma ho nti ye kwa ye da kukudu na boko na ya ko jiska na ye tum ye da ye business na nda abayi mesuma ye se mama olu president mama ba na so ma ya sna ye so ebobo ye nkunu mo me fie aya anyichi nti yi na ya da ya me ase da ma me no na ye papa waso ho da wode aba da wode bobo amba mba ye som na ye botu aba no so asai na ya na boko ajeman ye botu ama no na ya to ama jo mama na MPC no so obabiala nye ambassador da oboko fiefie onye mba na mba kakasa na wotu aba no ma His Excellency John Dramani mama onne ne ye hia ono wamba mba ye bibia ne nkodo eti mesramba mba yenya kukudur yenya bold yen kofiefie house to house, room to room, base to base. Yen you kasa, yen you kasa. Emba ye kasa chire mbeyin pa wotie ese nda obeyin okakasa che ne yanku beyin na nyame yadom mentuba papa to agudo na ye di kunyim 2024 election etimi gira ha mekọ so asi adwuma ku enyan esia mempi honorable Atoforsen woman organizer ko so asi woman organizer am kasi
may I say well, so basically she's just assuring the viewers that look, they have confidence and trust in the man John Dramani Mahama and the running mate Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, and they believe so much well that when they assume the position of the presidency, they will try and bring back that hope that has lost. The frustration written on the faces of the many Ghanaians that are gathered here tells it all. But let me cross over to the studio where Eric Ahianyo is still on standby with some of the guests. Stay with us here on Wezo TV. We've got you.
Thank you very much, Randy. This is Wezo TV Election Center, and I'm sure many of you can now see the excitement that is building up. Lots of people want to talk about what NDC wants to share with Ghanaians, what Ghanaians must hear, and what will determine the way forward, especially when we want to look at the theme which will run through this 2024 manifesto launch. Resetting Ghana is talking about jobs, accountability, and prosperity. I'm in the studio with two academicians, Dr. Milha Abubakar with the Political Science Department of the University of Education, Winneba, and Dr. Professor Ferdinand Anyapo, who is also with the Economics Department of the University of Cape Coast. You were on the floor before we crossed over to Randy. Yeah. We're trying to look at the NPP's 2024 manifesto, but it will look like people have heard it, they may have made up their minds already, but even before we talk about what people should be expecting in the 2024 manifesto, what are those brief comments you wanted to make?
Yeah. So you realize that they had an introduction where they went all back to 2016, which I feel is irrelevant because Ghanaians felt NDC was not doing well in 2016, and so they voted for you. And so we expect you to do better. And when you are giving us manifesto in 2024, you start from where we are in 2024 and not take our us back to 2016, just to try to make themselves look good, that they inherited an ill economy, which is not so, because we handed over to you, and then it's been about 8 years. How have you managed the economy? That is where the manifesto should have started from. But that notwithstanding, the manifesto made a certain promise which I feel is relevant to the current situations that we have in Ghana. It was that the promise of the manifesto was that it would stimulate business and create jobs with strong focus on private sector, and that they will be committed to invest in the growth of the Ghanaian business, create millions of secure jobs for the youth, ensure individual and collective prosperity, and save communities, and offer a problem-solving leadership of integrity. This mission or this vision is very relevant today, and so I would say the manifesto is relevant, and it is good that they have such a manifesto. It has so many strengths, but for the lack of time, I cannot go into all the strengths of the manifesto, but I will just highlight some three that I think are very important going forward. It promises the creation of jobs for the youth, which I think is very, very important. The manifesto also promises to incentivize Ghanaian startups in selected strategic sectors. Our current depreciation issues is all as a result of the import-dependent nature of our economy. And so, if the manifesto is promising to incentivize startups that can actually create and produce goods that we can consume in our own country without importing, I think it is a positive one. And also, it promises to reduce the cost of living, which is our biggest problem today. And so, if they will really work on that, Ghanaians would be very happy with that. And finally, care for the elderly, which I think is very crucial, considering the fact that majority of elderly people in Ghana do not have access to social security, and they tend to suffer a lot. Now let me come to the weaknesses that I think are found in this manifesto. First is the fact that the repetition of unfulfilled past manifesto promises is an acceptance that the government has not performed well and has, if you would say, failed to a greater extent. For example, Agenda 111. We were told it will be completed. This was promised in 2020 during COVID. The government is leaving. I don't think they have inaugurated about even 2% of Agenda 111. And so it's a total failure repetition. And then expanding agriculture. How has the PFJ performed? Planting for food and jobs. And you would realize that in the last 3 months, Ghana has experienced serious high cost of food prices. And it is all because planting for food and jobs has not actually achieved what it set out to achieve. And so it is back again in the manifesto. How or what are they going to do different to ensure that this time around?
The questions that we'll be asking. Now, let me come to you, Prof. You would notice that many of those who had the opportunity to speak to Randy were speaking to some of what John Dramani Mahama and his running mate, Professor Nana Jenopopajiman, have been telling Ghanaians they will do to address the challenges we are facing today. Jobs cut across, resetting the economy cut across. For you as an economist, a policy advisor to the minority leader who may have spoken to people on the ground or colleague experts which has informed what will be unveiled today, what are the solutions in there that we should expect?
So thank you very much. If, as you rightly said, the key thing which is for this manifesto is job. And you see, we need innovation to solve this particular problem. We have tried all the policies, they've said a lot of things. But now let me tell you, if you listen to the innovation that the NDC has brought to address the issue, let's look at what they are talking about, the 24-hour economy. What does it mean? If you have a company, you need to only employ 8 people. I'm just giving you an American example. You employ 8 people. to work for you and then they close. Then what happens in the night? You see that it takes a long time for more people to be employed. So one of the key innovations that the NDC is saying, and our flag bearer is saying, is that no, we are going to create the 24-hour economy. What it means is that you work, first batch work, when you close, the business also continue, people come. So a job that should employ, let's say, 10 people, will end up employing average of, let's say, 30. Then people make fun of it and say that, oh, but if you are going to employ, why will you invent somebody to employ? Because there is no demand for it and all those things. Let me just give you a practical example. We know that when you are working during the daytime, the businessman is interested in making profit, so he takes a very cognizant of the cost of doing the business, because he's going to pay electricity bill. So during the daytime, he may decide to off some of the light and do production so that his cost of doing the business, and then he can make more profit. So if you ask that business person to produce in the night, it means that his cost of producing will now be high because he has to pay for additional electricity bill. So Mahama is saying that, okay, my fiscal policy, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to emphasize you. The electricity that you are going to use in the night, it will be reduced. You are going to use a different tariff system. So if you use a different tariff system, what it means is that though you are going to use electricity, the light in the night, your cost of producing will become equal to what you have been doing during the daytime.
Form of
incentive. So you now say, okay, my cost of production will not be too high. So you now be motivated that, oh, I can run 24 hours. Then people said, oh, but if you do, what will be the demand for it? What is the demand for all these business things? But let me tell you, when assuming that Mama said, okay, we are going to produce furniture for all the school, and the government said that furniture must be produced by a local company. So what? And we are going to incentivize the local company to produce the whole they know. Okay. What it means in that case that there is already demand for it because the person produced. There is how do you call it? An outcome for it. Yes, that will absorb the furniture. Another thing that you mentioned that you see NDC we think because we say things. You know we established the Exim Bank. What is the purpose of that Exim Bank? Is to promote the non-traditional exports. And what are the non-traditional exports? They are not the cocoa, the diamond, the oil. They are the cosmetics, the dresses that people make. So if we incentivize people that the people can produce in the night, it means that the Exim Bank then come in now to assist them to also export their commodity. And remember, when they export, what are they bringing? They are bringing dollar to the economy. So the shortage of the dollar, where your dollar will be dancing like Baumia dancing on the stage, will be the thing of the past because the dollar will be available now. So you see how it is linked. For the 24 economy, you link it to the Exim Bank. Now, how do you also do that one? After linking to the Exim Bank, remember, a lot of women are in the informal sector. And the women must also produce. So you create a bank for the women, which will remove the obstacle of access to loans. So women will now also have money, produce traditional goods, and then Exim Bank help them. They also export. So in that case, you reduce the poverty, the vulnerability of women. So the whole thing is a web. You need to think about it. So you don't need to just come to a table and say, I'll create 22,000 jobs. How are you going to create? It must be sustainable.
So that's interesting. And for those of you who are watching, this is the live coverage of the NDC 2024 Manifesto launch. We are here at the University of Education, Winneba. My guests are helping us to look at expectations and, of course, break down some of the policy issues. In 2020, John Mahama, then as a candidate, raised several issues in the manifesto, what they described as the People's Manifesto. At that time, we got the understanding that it was a bottom-up approach. They got on the ground, spoke to different groups of people, various stakeholders, understood what the people want, and that is what has informed that manifesto they put out. In 2024, we understand that it is almost the same process, and John Dramani Mahama has assured that it is not about presenting a crop of people he would describe as appointees or people working with his government who know it all. He's going to open up his government, bring on board all kinds of brains, brainstorm on issues, come together, understand what will drive this country forward. I'm sharing with you some highlights of the 2020 manifesto in the form of graphics. I'll read along some of them. I just want you to reflect on some of these things I'll be referring to as they appear on the screen, because at that time he made reference to one major policy initiative he described as roll out the big push policy, which he said he was going to set aside $10 billion as investments in infrastructure, and this was going to include dualization of major roads. They were going to look at the railway sector, hospitals, markets, schools, and etc. These directly or indirectly were supposed to create jobs. Now he was also looking at macro fiscal policies, tax waivers, reduce inflation, boost revenues, encourage vehicle assembly of companies, introduce rural investor incentive to create meaningful employment. Of course, he was talking about provision of tax incentives for indigenous and value chain industries. It was talking about introducing the agriculture value chain tax incentives regime, engaging landlords in real estate investors and tenants to review the Rent Act, review or expand the free SHS program to include the private senior high schools, which is very, very instrumental here, because we know of the double track system, we know of the need for expansion and the cry by private schools for expansion. He was talking about setting up a gold board for small scale mining sector, and then of course he made reference to special pensions. And of course, if you look at it, it will come across on the special pension schemes for the cocoa and cashew farmers, driver unions such as GPRTU, Protua and cooperatives, Ghana Union of Traders Association, beauticians and hairdressers, dressmakers and tailors, garages, artisans, and it goes on and on and on. I'll share with you more of what was captured in the 2020 manifesto, but I've had conversations that the NPP's 2024 manifesto, for example, is a copycat of some of the promises made by the NDC in 2020. Yes, when it comes to the area of jobs, all of them will share their ideas, whether through digitalization or through the agri sector or industrialization. For you as an architect, directly or indirectly, of this manifesto that will be unveiled, what do you see that is very instructive that NDC can boast of and hold on as your work?
So thank you very much. You know, when I heard Honorable Baumia shouting of digitization comes with infrastructure. Without the infrastructure, digitization cannot start. Who started the digitalization drive? Right as you said, we even have the digitalization center established around the cycle and the fibrotic, cables lay. So when he's talking about digitalization, he hasn't provided even any infrastructure to even start off the disease. But my brother, let me just before I give you information on what Baumia said, and whether they've copied our manifesto or not, or whatever is happening, quite Ghanaians are there. Let's look at this thing. There's a fundamental question that I think Ghanaians need to be asking Baumia. Currently, we are paying Baumia, we employ Baumia as our vice president of this country, which everybody knows, and we are using our money to pay him. And as we are paying him, he has to work. He has not finished his work, and we are still paying him. And he is supposed to manage the economy, and he is the head of the economic management team. And now you are receiving salary. Unless he comes to say that he's not receiving that, he's receiving the salary now as the one to be working for us, and telling you that you don't worry, I'm not going to work. When you elect me, before I'll do A, B, C, D. Then why are you taking salary now? Then you have to resign, because I'm paying you to make my life better. You are taking that salary, but you are telling me that no, you don't worry, continue suffering. When you elect me now to become a president, I'll do A, B, C, D. Now let's go to the A, B, C, D that you wanted to do. You just said something very simple now. Go to our 2020 manifesto. most of the thing he said is just copy and paste. And you know one thing the MPP is very good at? They copy, paste, but they don't know how to implement because they don't have the implementation plan. I can tell you for sure, everything John Mahama will say here today as a promise, we have already developed an implementation plan waiting for that implementation. We don't finish, we don't just come and make the noise and then go back now before we are thinking. Everything that we have done, so
which is very interesting, of course.
Yes.
We'll be taking a short break, but don't forget that this is the 2024 Manifesto launch of the NDC. This started way back in 1992. At that time, it was restoring stability after a decade of military rule. In 96, the NDC's manifesto was themed around economic stabilization, infrastructure, housing, roads, health, and education. In 2000, it was launched by Professor Millsden, Need for Continuity. In 2008, because NPP had won election in 2000 and Kufuor had been in power between 2001 and 2009. 2008, the manifesto at that time was centralized on what was promised Ghanaians: better Ghana, jobs, health and education. 2024, consolidating gains. 2012, consolidating gains by the Mills Mahama administration. 2016 was hinged on infrastructure, which has become the trump card of John Dramani Mahama. And we have seen 2020 People's Manifesto, and we are waiting for the 2024 Manifesto launch. I've been doing this with two academicians, and of course, this program is not ending. The event should be starting officially from 12 o'clock. Don't go away. This is Wezo TV Election Center. After this break, we'll continue with our conversation.
Oh my no, baby, oh my no, yes and no, sir, my for.
Ghana, attention. The victory of Muhammad. The victory of Muhammad.
Toma ni wole ake game leji mo le wa ni esama ni ma ba ya no one choose JM.
The victory of Muhammad.
I choose JM because I would want to see him continue his good works, such as building the hospitals, schools, etc. And then I would want to see him particularly to introduce the 24-hour economy. This is why I chose JM.
The victory of Muhammad.
John Dramani Mahama because he's a visionary leader. He is visionary but not a prophet. He couldn't have predicted the COVID-19 outbreak, but he built an ultra-modern hospital which came in handy during the pandemic. This is why I choose John Dramani Mahama.
The victory of Muhammad. The
the nice things they want to say about JM. But I choose JM for his straightforward tax approach. No reciprocity, no sloganeering. Experience over experiment. Ejumera all the way.
Everybody wants JM to come, including even the MPP themselves. They need a change of government. We need a competent, a down-to-earth. We really need a political surgeon to come and restore the health of the country.
More than 100% yes. He has to come.
We've never had someone who have had a one-term experience going back to reflect. So he comes with a lot of reflection and circumspection. He comes with a lot more vigor, having been back in opposition for 8 years. And we all know that he is a transformational leader, and he certainly has reflected. This would provide us with a leader who would not only hit the ground running, but running the right direction.
You don't measure the greatness of a leader only by his achievement, but you look at the obstacles that the person has overcome.
I believe that John Mahama has what it takes: the experience, the wisdom, the track record, the integrity to take Ghana back to its position of destiny.
Akufo-Addo does not have the experience, and we can all see he didn't have the experience. He's collapsed the economy, nothing is working well. So things he has been there, he knows how to get us out of this mess. I'm sure Ghanaians would leave their votes behind him to come and save us, because we're in a mess.
We are at a place where the country is almost shattered, and we need someone who has the requisite skills and the needed expertise around him to execute the job. That person can only be John Dramani Mahama and no other person else.
In leadership and the electorate, you must build trust, and this is what President Mahama has been able to build. He's been able to establish trust between himself and the electorate, especially at the grassroots level.
The country has to progress. The only person that has got the magic wand, the only person that has done it before, the only person that has uplifted the people, and the only person that continues to have the passion, the commitment, and want to go the fuller extent of providing relief to the people and ensuring their sustainable livelihoods. It is Excellency John Mahama.
I believe that with his return in 2025, Ghana will rediscover her true self, and Ghana will be back on the path of progress.
He didn't let us sleep. He pressurized us. 2 a.m. calls, 12 midnight calls. He said, I said I will fix Tumso, and I'll fix it. And he fixed it. He takes things that are damaged and he recreates or rebuilds them. It is these characteristics that make me know that even though the economy is in shambles, if he comes back, or when he comes back, he will rebuild and he will fix it.
Welcome back. This is Wezo TV Election Center. We are live from the University of Education, Winneba. The NDC is launching its 2024 manifesto today, and there's a lot of activity here. Young men, young women, the elderly, party supporters, former appointees, members of parliament, representatives of the party from abroad, as they call them, people in the diaspora. We also have party executives who are all gathered here. Representatives of the diplomatic community are also going to be part of this very, very important event. I've told you that there's so much confidence among NDC supporters that John Dramani Mahama will win the 2024 election. elections. And so the young men especially have that expectation that this manifesto will open up what they want to hear, what will affirm some of the promises by John Dramani Mahama and his running mate Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyeman. What is very, very common on the lips of many across the country: 24-hour economy, women development bank, mechanizing agriculture, making agriculture easy for many people, attractive, where farm inputs, everything that is needed will be given to those in the farming communities or the farming belts, adding value to farm produce, reviewing how we mine in this country to make sure it is as responsible as we all want to expect, and what is most important, resetting Ghana. And of course, one thing that John Mahama has always been referring to is building the Ghana we want together. And so just as Ghanaians saw a president with his cabinet and people in government mobilize Ghanaians, the people in academia, experts in the economy, the financial sector, etc., who met at Senchi at that time, we saw the revolutionization of Ghana's economy from the Doomsday era to what we saw through the World Bank's prediction that Ghana's economy was going to grow by 7% because of the initiative that we're taking. He says he's going to do same as soon as he wins. Within the first 100 days, he's going to engage Ghanaians for discussions on the education sector, on the economy, for people to appreciate the true state of the economy so that Ghanaians will manage their expectations while he goes along to prioritize what he sees will address the concerns of Ghanaians, open up the industry, build confidence in the investment sector, create jobs, and then bring prosperity to Ghanaians. The next set of panelists I'll be engaging, they are well known to many of you, especially Dr. Justice Sremsai is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Law. You are welcome, Justice.
Thank you very much, my brother. How are you doing?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You have beard, I don't have.
Yes, now I have grown beard.
And of course, I'm bald, you are not.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy to see you again.
A lot of Ghanaians enjoy you because for them, you speak to the issues and you open up the debate for people to also bring their input, all for the cause of Ghana. Happy to have you on Windsor TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
My other guest is Dr. Albert Kwame Arthur. He's the patron for the 10th year at the University of Education Winneba chapter. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You are not in party colors.
Madam,
you are not in party colors.
Oh, our colors. This shows that we already on the 7th December. It's a victory. It's a victory.
So you are celebrating ahead
exactly.
of
I'm celebrating ahead of time.
For you, what does this mean for the whole party to come to your campus to launch a manifesto, to be speaking to the youth through your platforms?
In fact, it was a very great with excitement that when we received the news that the party manifesto for 2024 is going to be launched in Winneba and specifically on our campus. So some of us dedicated ourselves. From Monday, I'll be here all trying to help the national communication team and the local organizing committee as well to make sure that we put the place in order to ensure that we have a successful manifesto launch. And our youth are voices for change. But I always tell them that this election is not about NDC MPP, it's about the youth of Ghana. And therefore we cannot afford to take things for granted. It's a communal labor, and therefore we must all come together and work without being complacent. And I always tell them that set a goal that at least you talk to one or two individuals a day and tell them about the good policies of the NDC, like the 24-hour economy, which is going to bring job and prosperity in other jurisdictions is that. So why can't we also implement it here? So it is a great honor for us to have manifesto launch of the NDC here right in Winneba, and we know that inshallah everything will be successful.
Okay, so those are your opening remarks. Now let me come to you, Dr. Justice Sremsai. Now, if you sit on the fence, you look at the narratives, the expectations among the youth, the challenges ahead, what must this manifesto ensure is captured?
Thank you very much. I think basically when you follow what is going on, regardless of whether it is an NPP person who is saying it or an NDC person who is saying it, one thing is settled, that the youth of this country have been given a raw deal for the past 8 years. Nothing has happened which has improved the lot of the Ghanaian youth. And the youth themselves are crying for a particular change. And so you cannot be a very competitive political party, you cannot be a very competitive politician, you cannot be taken seriously if you do not have a specific program, projects and policies for the youth. And for me, when I sat through the youth manifesto launching of the NDC, it told me one thing, that the NDC is responding to a very critical demand, a very essential demand for our politics. In fact, not just for our politics, for the growth of this country, which is that you need to listen to the youth, not just to listen to them. When we see there's a difference between hearing the youth and listening to them. Listening to the youth means that you are really identifying their voices, you are taking them seriously, you are addressing what they need, and you are ready to provide and to help them, not to even provide something for them, to involve them in the discussion. So for example, if you have a manifesto and there is no specific involvement of
The victory of Muhammad. The victory of Muhammad.
Alright, for a special day, Kesipa Edema NDC. It's an NDC as a political party outdoor. It's 2024 Manifesto. NT send ya mo 1 hour with Munufi. We just come live. Na baby discuss this particular topic. I'll be joined on the stream by different people. Na fide minimum na ajeje adwenkyere no free omoho. Enti pepacho stay tuned. Send be others not going to join me in discuss because in himself na nado da kwa kufa do yene ira alhaji to tabamudo ba umia e de tro azane enada bi adada Ghana foa ma say obi ehun say ba bi agoro na ekono say ya mpusu ehun a e de nsem bebre ene beba. Along the point, different people from different parts of Europe ebe join me. So also person join me, I can actually let you in na afide inyina atwetwe enkomono abum. Me the number and so better screen I say along the point. Inti wa person join on the stream bia so no. Ubetimi adjoin live on the stream. Epacho we 1 hour with Munufi na in between no yebeko na yasen akọ back to Winneba na afide inyina yakoje adwenkyere no afi ho. Enyadia ese nipa ba kope nkwa ena eba beye. Enti the victory of NDC is coming back once again.
Ghana, attention. Come on, the victory of Muhammad. The victory of Muhammad.
All right, episode 4, send your mechanic 1 hour with Munufie. Minia Sadiq ebe joining me from Finland. Enti ene Sadiq ebe twetwe enkomo abomna fide yadwe cha Sadiq and so adwenkyere about how he see the manifesto and then other things along the point. Na enkomo no mu be de pa. Sadiq bibi aboko de.
Oh, bibi aboko Munufie. But it's man
kaze. Me sure say na waro like see there I say Finland I there never who say NDC party no a goro no mo de.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Upon the next man, the Saturday upon the year launch manifesto. So we are telling the Ghanaians what we have for them, what the NDC have for them. They miss my you know. Upon the NDC has been a party for the grassroots.
Yes.
It's a grassroots party. In the year manifesto in year obi na okatina baby na oboni team otro. No more here manifesto in here yankasa no NDC no yet to since in your concof nankasa masses now. So if you could remember, flag bearer was going around for some few months ago.
Yes.
The whole idea in the origin of the oya masses in one dream tre azar one so one dream and we feed the bazina obaya obotum weja magan and punto akwenyim. And this has been a tradition for the NDC when it comes to our manifesto and when it comes to the NDC as a political party. They be on here manifesto na ya konkofo no wo ho Ghana fo wo ho ya kapon ho cho ansa na yesanso ye bison ho za Ghana fo nan kasa yanya ye zan fa azunchre
yes
azunchre no mun ne nya ya PK film ne ye za manifesto. So this has been it has always been a tradition for the NDC.
All right, that's good. Sadiq, you know, so na kuku anso adwane on the stream nti my. All right, I think say Kukua ente yenka eyintino. Sadiq, I will try to fix things with Kukua and Afide. Sadiq, now what was the NPP for the area manifesto ni bidada? Abe yet to say ayo momodia. How do you see these kind of things?
For
Kukua and Timinka and I'm a patch of now.
Yeah, mention can ye now to menka.
Yes, say you are okay.
What to menka na?
Metal Kappa, a patch of Biaboko.
Aha. Baby aboko mi eyezu.
We mizu. Na
oh yeah,
sa. Now manifesto yeah, come say manifesto geared towards the youth. But as NPP for start to manifesto implementing kitten senior momo de no. Kukua, what do you think about this?
I think some manifesto there ya kwadare mu yie. Ya tete. Sabiti Razak ya na meka afam nia okan no so say. Enya ade foforo ma yen NDC fo. Ade a ye beto aba bi a ye kan ye manifesto.
Yes.
Enyama a ye beye. Enyama a ya yeda. Nia ye pese amansa nyina hunu se yenwie ye ne ye ba beye. Enya se ye kan ne ndwa so. Enti manifesto de ami ye ko school ye nyina no ye obi ba di position a oka manifesto. Enti na enya ade foforo ema ye but say NDC MPP fo no omo be wia ye manifesto ye nsem a ye ba be ye na de ade de de a they will try but I didn't say people know the whole Ghana knows that omo ntimi and enya omo dia. So we have to focus on what we have for the nation. Na ye modern say ye betimi ye manifesto no. I'm very glad say ye better manifesto and I'm so happy about and excited about it. Because meaning say a stepping stone. Now come say who ba be si dan ya say plan it.
Exactly.
Now o plan wie so a o de tu dwa say okay bi fi ha beko ha beko ha be ye ni say na e beko no ente ba ne sa na wo hye adwuma na se a umre esan say unim say me wie first phase me call second phase me call third phase ya manifesto no sa na ete ente na bibia na ye into order ente no me de omo wie bio omo wie bio me de ade ba ko pe na me ni say e ya de a ye dadaada ente nya de from my yen ena ya de so a ye beye ente sam a wo mu no ye beye ho asem eno no ne asem no e de ometnya be wi ho bibi na ma ko polish no ometnya aye evidence a omo de awa mo choro ye no po mo ntimi anya ye na ma so ko wi ankrofo foforo de akaka mo de ho omo ba mo headache ya ntimi me de be si ase na wo bibi foforo so a ma san so mato aso
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be provided 1 million IT skills. Now, Mahmoud Bawumia Kwachero will be provided 1 million digital skills. Why do you think they stole only this policy and then changed only one word out of it?
Comrade, if you're from 1996, if I could remember, from 19, let's say even from 2000, most of NDC manifesto later you were MP before manifesto.
Yes.
After that, yeah, manifesto, launch later now, you the same manifesto, the same cut and paste, with some few verses changes. On Amazon, one with the changes of the MPP or the cut and paste. It has been their tradition. This has been a tradition there over there. But the most important message from the comrade Kuku Akano. As I know, manifesto most of the time so a cut a paste implementation or a zemo.
Yes.
You see, that is where they have their difficulties all the time for the MPP. So what we often the NDC war manifesto now because of they are very good in communication, often they are media mainstream and capturing it. Then they turn it around the NDC more where the way we want manifesto. But if implementation they implementation one problem it's one button way over they can cut and paste it there. But when it comes to the implementation, we are the masters.
That's true.
Because we collect the data from the masses direct. In Yaza Yakatina ho Troy, your masses no you can be so what they want, what they need on the Yazba by manifesto. You see, ya you wait you matter that. And you miss so able to me so Oh yes. It is and these our masters the party for the masters. Because it has been a tradition them is from the beginning. Them the manifesto, them all the time implementation. Your collective or your collective from the masses.
Yes.
In the they can pick it up and then they can do the cut and paste. It has been cut and paste from 2000. There were cut and paste from their manifesto from the NDC. Yes, in 2004, so also were the same cut and paste. Were the same cut and paste. In 2016, there was the same thing.
Okay.
But urban implementation now, on the able okay, I want to try another or your word another on your word. That's it.
Exams how to explain it yourself. Enti kukua pepacho otemenka.
Yo.
Kukua otemenka.
Yeah, Pastor, maybe I'm a tongue.
All right. Now, Pepacho, what are some of your expectations in this particular manifesto and Ebai?
To me, ni dear, me follow emra na ye gada ye mampeni a obeba so oko campus e wo use Accra ko gada students obusa wo enum nsem niama ehia wo mo ene youth no omo nsem especially say health side bebre titifie we school and so adwuma ni ho yen teacher for yi so no ye do so ma say no teacher training for babeka university for one afɛ deɛ adɔɔso afɛ deɛ edwuma ni hɔ enti no otie saa nsɛmsɛm yi nyinaa no ɛde students na no sɛsɛɛ no manifesto yi mu no nea ɛyɛ m'ani sɔ kɛse ne sɛ these things are coming to play ɔka sɛ wate youth for no ɔmo esum sɛ edwumasɛm sɛ ɛfa ne sɛ school recently nea ɛba media na muntimi nyɛ ɛbɛkɔ university first years ɛbɛkɔ university for free. I mean, it is achievable.
Of course, why not?
Eda youth for akuma pronso. On can say the whole university na ebeko for free. Was it first years no? Adentia. Esa say first years ebeko university. The time difference na e was over university, over high school no, actual exams no. And it's over university no. Ebusha. Obeko university no ebusha. The problem any friend is saying or how ni ayende the two parents eso and our for so and you know and no the one who say sabi friend say oh mama yensa ba ko SS the same time ba ko so call university na say ni obeko university no you say okay and the school fees the tuition fee no you twa so and I say on call for free and no say I the papa
yes.
So and you know me dem who ni say adea enema na ebewo manifesto na ye kan nsesi ano adea achievable enye asemo a eso cheso baby say one district one factory eso dodo enu kwa yentimi anye so ekofo yentimi anye na ye kai die enche hu masa kwa me district I'm not too yet so that what they say they will never find yet say they no make some way you I call that one yet and you know I as a university for the area we should also take this you said and you obia no be praise or university after SS the first year maybe they have different plans. If you want person or more eco university or outside, if you want the number of students that will be going to the first year, you know. And yeah, be brace. You mean yes, a free SHS. I shall say, I feel coach Chemco, the blue ni green. I feel Ubusa Shakola or Quemo. I'm sure some and Muni Ghana, any organa kakara. Ushakola or Quemo, and I will green and I was all me for green, you know. The same person, no shada and a pana yeah. And you know, it was inconsistent.
Yes.
Ama educational system no I ever said say yeah what we are so I'm very optimistic say very achievable and we should look forward say for instance the look at this these Okada people so look at the plan that he has for them maybe one more year you know one more first one more
and look you read one there's a package for both sides. There's a package for both sides. On your one side for only for the first year university, then the technical from there where there's a lot of package for the technical school, another for the technical university.
All right. Enti Kukua, what do you make of Asma Mekano? Do you think say it's in the right direction? And also, do you think say
I think that I want to add I wanted to just add a little to what Comrade Razak just mentioned, that there is a lot in stock for the technical people.
Okay.
For instance, first, Nobiko Technical School, Untimiko University.
It's Sadiq.
I just say Oko Polytechnic, which we all know. Sadiq, yeah, sorry.
Sadiq.
And what happened is that this trend has been something that we all know. It's Hello.
Hello,
okay. Okay, good. And what happened is say nipa no ko technical school na the only manager or polytechnic. And as a previous network MVTI and all that stretch and some polytechnic.
Yes.
Advanced and all that and some polytechnic. Now it will surprise you. So Obiko Eco Vocational School, a bit says St. Anne's Vocational, which I am talking on fact. Hello.
Hello,
Menka. So the privilege to review KNUST for one more one more technical courses just few days ago because now me pay some program be one of me long sleeve ebusian maybe I get a very good grade. And then I realized that they do civil engineering or university. You know, most of the courses are if anything first from here or polytechnic no are in the university now.
Yes.
And so if somebody is in the technical field now, if someone is in the technical field now, the person also has the link to all these things also.
Okay.
So it is not only a package just for the university people. We should bear it in mind. So we should look at the creativity of our president to be. Just look at the infrastructure.
All right, Isa, I think say
Structure that he has made. He knew the technical course is one of the best.
Okay.
Hello. He worked over there.
All right, Isa. All right, I think say Comrade Isa Intimi NT and Ka. Let me just try to bring Isa once. All right, Isa, good.
Bongo, I can hear you. I can hear you.
That's very nice. But NDC launch campaign now as the secretary of NDC Finland branch and as well as Nordic chapter. What do you think? Then I was expected from this campaign.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Bongo. Dear Mami, say, yeah, joining in your 1 hour with
Let me just try to see if I can position you very well. Okay, good for now.
What do you think? Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Today is actually a great day for the NDC. All roads lead to Winneba, which happens to be a place where the NDC founded that university. We built that university. And then Manifesto, no. It is actually a people's manifesto. It is a manifesto that speaks to the heart of the people. On the NDC, we have the track record of, being the people's party. So the manifesto that we've compiled, we've put together, it is actually going to address a lot of the problems facing Ghanaians or Ghanaians are faced with.
Okay.
Today we should expect something that is going to capture every aspect of the economy. Talk about agriculture, talk about roads, talk about schools, talk about infrastructure, everything that there is to talk about that affects the Ghanaian, the common Ghanaian. And then we expect to have a manifesto that when the people read or when they listen to,
yes, because they actually says we everywhere.
Exactly. That is why I said that it is a people's manifesto.
Okay.
In 2020, no. In 2020, no. Yeah, we went round the country. Hello.
Well, better unka pamitio.
Mongo. What do you
Mitio
mean?
pa, better unka. Yes.
Good. Me also I didn't break it kakra. Yes. So this is just the preliminary talk that I'll give. Say the people are going to expect a manifesto that speaks to their hearts.
Okay.
That speaks to their hearts. So this is what I will say about it for now.
All right.
Now, Mama, others were too. Yeah.
All right. So one thing I may realize is Mabisa Kukua and Sadiq these same questions. Me who say NPP for we are part of the manifesto. All those say in your mind, Kwano. Or my decay we are part dada. Do you think say when akrom for kwa gudia? Omo ho kwan no mu wia and I said do you think say Omo so call around Kubisa and Ghana for pay and then they also started to do the same thing?
On the MPP, they have a pet chant for this kind of behavior. And then almost started at the say almost hint to say this is what NDC is coming with. Then they quickly go to do so what I call pentimamento. Until I dare not say NDC, Yemfani say Yemfani for instance, night economy. 24-hour economy. Yes. And them the question budget must say they want to do something like this with the term the night economy. So, but we know who started trumpeting about the 24-hour economy. It is the NDC. It is the NDC that started trumpeting the 24-hour economy. And the Ghanaians are wide awake. And they say, Okofa component of what NDC is, championing now. Ghanaians will say, Nasaya we the NDC and I say, Omoka Huasemo. And then Tina Moma Kofan in term. And the okay, say 24-hour economy. Yes, I say Yaka Huasem. Yes, I say Yaka Huasem. Omo say, yeah, explain, Shomo. Nanipa was say, your friend is a Ghana card. One Ghana card is better than 1,000
interchanges.
Interchanges. Such a person who explaining a 24-hour economy say a channel. Because the person is so ignorant.
Yes.
So, Anna, they are bathed in ignorance. Say, near Obeka Biano Omuti.
Onye na adwen
say obeti. Obeti asiye. So, the normal now Ghanaians know about it. Ghanaians, we know about it.
Yes.
We know what NDC is trumpeting. We know what NDC has. Snippets of our, your friend is saying, campaign promises are share manifesto mu. Ya kaho, ya bon de wuro, actually, Ghanaians. They say, your friend is saying, we are going to create 1 million coders. Meanwhile, so you are promising 50 million. Say you're the best share into digitalization to train your friend is saying people in software development.
Now I'll jump in 100,000.
So
say I say only a cromphone a quagrono. Kuku a cromphone one no with the agrono.
So, NDC, we have a solid manifesto.
Okay.
And 24 hours, it has really dazed them. Almost to say something like this will come.
Yes.
So, that is why
they have no minds of their own. They only steal people's idea.
Exactly. Namitie, your friend is a national youth organizer, no? Salah Mustafa, who happens to be my friend. Now, okay, one of the policies are, yeah, can't want them. I think it has to do with, I think one of these policies that we intend bringing is captured in the manifesto. And I'll say that is their idea. We stole the idea.
From where?
How did we steal your idea when we started trumpeting about this a long time ago? So, and the MPP, there, to be honest, they are dazed. Their days are numbered.
Yes.
Ghanaians, this election, no, it is people's power versus a selected few.
Mafias.
People's power versus a selected mafia. And that people's power would triumphant against those mafias who are milking Ghana.
Yes.
Yes. So make one.
All right. Mati Kukua na meja wa mawakono. Do you think say some Isa Akanyina no? Don't you see that is the rare characteristics of NPP? So since the days of 1992, you started saying a campaign. The only idea they say Omankasa ni agree of their own, but they only come to steal the ideas of NDC. Or more implementing so they implement it wrongly.
Yeah, and no na friend say yeah, other communicate, you know, and I may emphasize what to say. Say uwia bibia, ukokowia obi kaba say anchiwa the best one chen enya wo dia. Because so one konko no ho ankwa nkobusa omo idea na omo anche say problem aye we no boy wo kwan we su boy wo kwan we su a ebetimi asolve problem na so kokowia at the end of the day ya wo be dey no implement it
kuntimi
man na kokubusa no say accept ne hia mo ansa de pa beka say ebia we ne hia ya na we ne hia na we ne hia ya agro wo nkrofo na ni subi nia agro pa wo nkrofo na ni su na eno na yehu ene ye di manifesto na to say manifesto na ye di aba no 24-hour economy there's an obi friend me crowd one of these TikTok show am join here ye chire mu ya chire mu achem afa ya amati ase no afa na makoko use another word enti na dia no omu konko ye research no konko busa nkrofo no wo munya sorry ya na akofa topic no ye betimi a handle at the end of the time so wo muntimi handle ade no na afa no apako ya ade a wo muntimi end
Global Info Analytics, I a lot of survey and polls in Ghana. And I actually say 24 hours economic policy no. Ghana for what you are saying about Umia's digitalization. So quickly, they also have to go back and say, so, oh, any idea, say, when here's a go for militina, what I know that name, never pay my mom for. But I say, in fact, because when the case is happening now, by your mama across all the 24 hours economic policy, but Nagana and young word, Yana Joe, I'm saying, you're so light and oh, this kind of things. How can you go back and say, Mr. Margin? No, it's a, do you understand my point?
Exactly. So, no, I can't say the implementation in the bachelor say, what the answer now, we are there, and then now bachelor method that will be used now. That's our problem. No,
how they do.
I'm not for a better that me that come a friend is saying, it's as say, osteti say, about one I have to net die in him. No, I nipa no, and paper some go talk once every year. No, and nipa master to no one no come say, yet they say. Eye nipa ba ubi o shakona baby ana nipa bienu o shakona baby ana se no person o man esikono obi akasa nipa o man no se de ajrega
ajame
enu ntino wo mo akasa no muni se ne obetimi abo o man no o person obebesi so enya batwe na enya nipa ko kakse bi ni nkuma bi dabi nipa man no mo ti o man ni mu no aye o man no wo mu na wo mba ko trobutu mi say ne ye pedi na no na ye dia ekọ mo nchen ya akọ ka trom say e de na ehia mo na ye ba ya ba be bua mo ama aye e no mo cheche obia ekuo bia de ne de bai ekuo bia ra e de ne de bai enti no ye ka ho asem a ne ye nimbe bia adwuma ya dika aye ene ne a ye betimi aye
exactly
Yeah.
All right. Me that's a party major kukua ama kukua akoma who say ye kasa nyina say wo boxe one why she. Nti ye da
Papa my
kukua me
I
da
want
pass.
to join the baby bi to baby pa cho me da mo ase bebre me da mo ase.
Mate. Bye bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Isa enti
Bongo.
ensem bi na kukua so de abepem so because obi o wia wo no obi ase uko wia obi ade na wa ade na wia no wo kasa won ti ase a wo explain kura explain. And then secondly obi o se wada no wa she da se wada unyane na onyan on sorry da.
Onyane.
Yes.
Otunku.
Otunku ha. Enti say Mamudu ba mi ase wo ye ne hwe a enye ye. Akwa no ase damfo na adwe bia ni ono nkasa ni team but it seems to say na kind a few mafia bi and a pushing is a ko na kokata yeto. Pagana for no so hu akwa no.
Bongo sanete. Wo. Enya sanka. Baumia. When sorry akugina stage. After say what say we are. O dancing techniques krampo no and so any. And twa yi kra. Na uwe ya. Na se minim ne ewura wo mu. Na wakaka se ememunu no se afedie mo be ye credit den na obi agi one phone obeji omema phone on credit you pay 1 euro 1 cedi. And na me busa ne se ememunu no omu ni adwuma adwuma ni ho ombeye dey to ya sa 1 cedi no so
yes
na say ye the 24-hour economy ba na ememunu ni adwuma tumi ye na afedi sika abeto mboto that time na they will have enough money to start thinking about buying stuffs on credit.
Yes.
A lot of the gadgets that we use, we buy them on credit. If your credit, if you are not credit worthy, you cannot buy anything on credit. So, say you blacklist. Say to me, you are not fit to buy anything. Even just because you are not fit. So, what will make a man fit in order that the person can buy stuffs on credit, that the person will become credit worthy? No,
yes,
and that is the answer that we are bringing to Ghanaians, which is in the form of 24-hour economy.
Yes.
So, and I make earlier on say the thing has really dazed them because almost 10 left. I'm say NDC about 24 hours. Almost 10 right. They are just confused. So let's just promise everything to Ghanaians, including one one mobile phone, one youth that you'll be able to pay 1 CD every week.
1 CD every month.
I feel they are teachers too. Also, or promoting.
Chese, I can say, also Mamudu Bomi, I can't say Ushia comfort, but promise Mumutia. One comfort, one Mutia.
So it is, governance is a serious business.
Yes.
When you are dealing with the people, you have to deal with them with a lot of decorum, a lot of respect, the honor that is involved in dealing with the people. For them to have the confidence in you that indeed this is the person that we are going to choose, or we believe that will become a very strategic leader for all of us. So Ukaya, your mama, Okochia teachers, and our teachers explain that was in 2016. And Okacha say, look, Mr. President, you pay then. No, that it was 2020. Sorry, 2020.
Yes.
And I'm complaining about say pay until if he comes, he should do something about it. No, I think it was recently. Sorry, my bad. It was recently. or and then he talked about say, look, he believes that the books are very bad, so that when he comes, he will open the books.
Yes.
During the time of opening the books, that becomes something like his honeymoon, for them to check whether indeed we have enough money to be able to cater for your demands. And MPP folks say brofo no monti o. Say then no monti o. But me also ona baby I say he will not come and then ask for honeymoon from Ghanaians.
Yes.
You see how they are distorting information?
Yes.
So that is why earlier on I was talking about when you are dealing with the people, say, see, no, you need to deal with them with honor, with respect, and all the what is the name? What is the word? All the things that come with, say, they will see you as a true leader,
as a credible leader.
Otherwise, nurses, mind you, nurses, your mama. Oh no, yeah, your friend is a nursing allowance. And that's just to open access for nurses to be able to for a lot of people to be able to enroll in nursing training colleges. These people played politics with it. Today, nurses are saying we are sorry. Why? Because of the politics that they played with it. And today they are not able to pay the nurses their allowances. Today nurses have realized that near your mama very strategic. Foresight beer. It cannot be. It's not comparable to anyone. So for him to open access for everybody, anyone who is able and willing to attend nursing training college to do so.
Now we are
replacing exactly. And then Obi training college, nursing training college. Onyejuma. Now ba omi ya nipa ya omonye juma Ghana no. O say afed ye obeye odi your friends employment exports. Odi call your friends outside the country. Those who are unemployed will get employment outside the country. It is there in their manifesto.
How is he going to achieve
How is it possible? I don't know. Last time when I read it, I think 2 days ago when I read it, I was like, what is wrong with this man? What is wrong with this man? Even you are not able to get them jobs, but you are saying that you are going to get them jobs outside the country. How is that possible?
It's a deception.
So your friend is saying, Nanado. Your friend is what is the name of Chacha? Ekasa or John 10:10. That is what Baumia is trying to also do here.
Yes.
But today, Ghanaians are wide. Their eyes look. Ghanaians are so discerning.
They say, "Wouldn't you mean that will be a beam?
Wouldn't you mean that will be a? Otherwise, as enough. I didn't see or as enough. As enough. Yachiro mo bibi kakra.
I know yachiro what.
Whoa. We showed them something small. A lot of these people took money. They took money. They didn't vote.
Yes.
So MPP is a goner. To be honest, MPP right now is a goner. They are just deceiving themselves. They are deceiving their supporters. Even Baumia himself, he's being deceived and he's deceiving himself. So he's being deceived and he's deceiving himself.
But I think sometimes what I think is NPP for the money could see regain mechanism. I mean,
that is the last straw. That is the last straw. But you see, the last straw is so fragile that they cannot even hold it. This last straw, and people's power. The people's power will speak on the 7th of December. The people's power will speak on the 7th. No amount of machinations, no amount of rigging mechanisms, no amount of will let them stay. Dabi. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen, Bongo. So,
that's good.
Otherwise, look, you see, people are so vigilant.
Yes, that's good.
What the faha? No more duty. What the faha? Now their own people have realized that. Look, agrono, and they are almost leaking information. NDC. So that should tell you that is a sign of their downfall.
Yes.
That is a sign of their downfall. So they can't do anything to rig the elections. They know it. They know it.
But today, I was a party be able to position. Sometimes, but I've realized and say one can because science and a good word on what the channels will master. I'll go to where I the empha.
Yes. But you see, they have you know, as politicians, they have to do something to kind of ginger the beats.
Opere no
Opere. To be honest, I mean, I was in Ghana early this year. You know, the number of people who are ready to leave the country. I mean, a hard dream to leave the country. They are ready to sell their properties. Yes, people wanting to leave the country, and then I start here. But this time it's record high. The numbers are just too high. The numbers are just too high. Why? Now, Okoka, Edidiatem. Then they start comparing Ghana with other countries. So, countries now, Mokrampono, I want you. Yes, I want you. But and yet, I want you. Ghana, Finland is in a recession. But sorry, in a day, three times a day, dear.
Yes.
So a lot of countries in Europe are in recession. So today, how many people can afford 3 square meal a day? How many? And Nipa, Bongo, and Nipa, Omumbusa, Yesikada. Today they are asking for money.
Of course, because I come the why I knew be the bachelor of massa could be said to be.
Opia no, like the whole time, Mimi ba broche, Omisa Miskada. But then, message, Uber on WhatsApp now, send a message. Say, I want you to need too much. You see, you see, from you see, all their implementations, they all came with hardship. Talk about free SHS. And we've got the free SHS now. Muka say free SHS. Today it's no more free. It's no more free. And now me catch Madam Fubi. Say, the debate about free education, free secondary education. Say NDC say omuna mo de buy, MPP say omuna mo de buy. Me, I attended Tamale Secondary School. I didn't pay a dime.
They say what that.
So, so the northern part of Ghana, no, if only you are a northerner, I know it was instituted by Nkrumah.
Yes.
To encourage northern parents to take their kids to school. So, if you have come to expand access, it doesn't mean that you introduce it.
Yes.
Look, Bongo, let me give you one example of this freebies here. National Health Insurance in 2007. Introduced here. It was nationwide. Registration was nationwide. Everybody was eligible so far as you are Ghanaian. to register for national health insurance. I registered in Ashama. At the time, I was in Cape Coast in school. Maybe yari eko interbetin. Miko interbetin. Omukashira me say, your card is not cannot be used here. Why? Just because you registered in Ashama. And I'm saying, but it's national health insurance. I say that it is mutual health insurance. It was until 2009, 2010.
Under Prof. Mills.
Under Professor Atamils. And now, on nationalizing health insurance. To even include private health. Yes. So, say, yeah, nationalizing, you know. Na I can say, yeah, introduce here. Does that make sense?
What banner I don't know.
But
so that is governance.
What is this? What is this about? I introduced it. What is this about? How you introduce it?
I said, so, and I want to say, NPP for this is the game they are playing. Almost the generational gap no. Udim say bia health insurance here okay. Obi or no ya won na wadi 18 no. Udim say the last 10 or 18 years or 12 years not there was anything like health insurance. Into more capitalize on that generational gap no, and then they throw dust into their brain to brainwash them because the same in our country from Prof Mills to now 16 years.
Yes.
Into be on a nowadays 18 years and let's say well no 2 years as at that time into
exactly
how I travel be doing
exactly.
That is the game NPP for any play.
But governance is a process.
Yes,
governance is a process. So you see, that is why I dislike the NPP to the bone. You see, when a government, you succeed a government, what you need to do is to continue with their projects. Okay, if you are not even going to continue it, let's say you've decided that you are not going to continue it, you just leave it. But don't go and introduce something similar to that and say, "Oh, now they buy it." What I say? What I say? If you are not going to continue it, just leave it. No, be able to say, "Okay, you left it," but don't go and do something that we call pentimamento. You give it a different name, and now, like I say, it is your signature project.
So no, it
doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. But this is what forced Ghanaians, they've indoctrinated Ghanaians with in 2016. So for Ghanaians to believe, say, we are better managers of the economy than the NDC. And when we come, we are going to do this, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. What have we seen? We've only seen corruption. That is what you've been able to do. Corruption. Corruption to the roof, beyond the skies.
Now, so I wouldn't say NPP is a manifesto. I buy it. Whatever we decode it. The word corruption, manifesto.
Oh, now, and then me share a Hobson Adoye. Or say, your friend is a media men and women no mukako Asia Baumia Chinai. They should ask him one like a couple of questions. One of them was about corruption, and then listen to what he will say. And he sure said, Dr. Baumia will fumble.
Yes,
because they've not been able to fight corruption the way we the NDC did under John Dramani Mahama. So, and then corruption, left, right, center.
Now,
left, right.
One and business are question and unyane. Because one can say, maybe I was saying, I'm going to do this. We will be beside the same question. So, wow, I can say the main thing I say, my business are question. All right, I mean, that's it. Now, I've been trying to be able to make the association a Jawa Wako.
You know, yeah, but can I say, Ghanaians should be very vigilant, and especially the NDC should be very vigilant. I continue to say, this election is between the people and then a selective mafia, and some selected mafia who are in the caucus of the government,
yes,
so to speak. So Ghanaians should be extra vigilant.
Okay.
The NDC has to be extra vigilant. That is why we in the diaspora are doing everything possible to make sure that at this time we get ourselves involved in the electioneering process, so that any can who be feely obia yadi envelope beba no bia no mo so obetumi onje on fashion pocket no onye the wrong thing in ma MPP
no onje
to make sure say NDC beba power.
Yes.
Onye your mouse can GD we are now we vote against them.
No.
So I urge all may a diaspora say in 2 weeks we'll be in Berlin for some program regarding the elections, the training of officers who are going to serve as observers near their day. This election is about us. It is about our collective effort to make sure, say, John Dramani Mahama becomes the next president of the Republic of Ghana. And we should do well to be part and parcel of the program. Those who can go back home to vote, they should do so. Those who cannot should encourage their friends and families to vote for the NDC, because at the end of the day, these same people are going to fall on you for sustenance. So I urge everyone in the diaspora to actively take part in to be concerned about the next election. Next election, no, it is about us. It is about our future. John Dramani Mahama has a very good plan for the future of Ghana. So let's all come together to support him. And today, after this, we should all go back and listen to the radio, listen to what John Dramani Mahama has in store in the manifesto. And then we take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Medase.
All right. So medawase papa.
Yeah.
Mrena wetimi ajoin ende. Enti meda Isa Alhassa say NDC Finland and then NDC Nordic chapter on the both nyina secretary eda Isa say wetimi ajoin ye na oyne atwetwe enkomo abom. Enti along the point in abusan for Eka do beko Winneba life na fide yakwaje adwenkyere ahwese ne a nema ekoso ho na fide inyina yaje Ghana no abom. Enti we need to help NDC and then Ghana to develop at the same time. That is what we're going to do. Enti for now dear meda obibia say what minute 1 hour with Munufi atanampacho. Stay tuned in about 1 hour now. Yebeba na ye know assign about twetwe enkomo no abom. Meda obibia ase. Bye bye.